Angular version 18 just dropped, and if you've been following along with recent updates in the Angular ecosystem, then there isn't really anything particularly surprising here. Just more progress toward the same goal of a framework that the Angular team thinks can last the next 10 years of web development. The biggest part of this overall goal has been the introduction of signals, the new reactivity system based around that, and the move toward zoneless Angular applications. To help give an idea of the significance of moving in this direction, and keeping in mind Angular is moving in this direction, it is not there yet, we could consider a future where the way Angular knows a change has occurred is via a signals value changing. And when that happens, Angular could surgically update the DOM for just the specific area that was impacted by that change. So we could have great performance and a fantastic developer experience with signals, where we don't need to follow and understand complex rules that determine whether or not change detection will run like with onPush. Or we don't need to take the performance hit of easier to understand change detection without onPush. In this new world, all we would really need to think about is, did a signal's value change? If so, we'll do change detection. This is in contrast to the past and still present, where the way Angular knows about a change is via Zone.js, which monkey patches browser APIs so that Angular can be notified whenever there is the possibility that something could have changed. For example, a set timeout, set interval, promises, event listeners could all potentially change some state in the application. And so if any of these things happen, Angular needs to perform change detection. By default, Angular will start at the root component and check every single component in the component tree for changes. With the onPush change detection strategy, we have a way to limit the nodes of the tree it checks to just the branches where a change occurred. But without signals, if a change happens in a child component, all of its ancestors all the way up to the root still need to be checked even if we use onPush. This check the whole world approach generally isn't as bad as it might sound. Angular does this all quite efficiently. An important distinction to make is that Angular is just checking for changes during this process, which is quick and cheap. It doesn't need to re-render the whole application in the DOM. Changes to the DOM only happen if necessary. But there is room for improvement, both from a performance and developer experience perspective, and Angular's new reactivity system can achieve that. There has been a lot of great new stuff from Angular, including new APIs and continued improved support for SSR and SSG. I would highly encourage you to go check out their V18 release video for more details. It includes code samples of how you can try out experimental zoneless support today, and there's also important context in their video and other sources that cover things like backwards compatibility and the concept of hybrid change detection, which will help with that. But at least from my perspective, the stuff around signals, reactivity, and zoneless change detection is the most important part of Angular's 10-year plan. Although large changes like this are always going to be painful to keep up with, the industry as a whole is going to move on regardless of whether Angular does or not. In my view, everything we have been seeing in the last few major releases have been necessary to put Angular back on the path of being a modern and competitive front-end framework. But let me know what you think, and if you like this video, please consider a like or subscribe before you go, and then go upgrade to V18 if you can.